Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call!
Bueller?
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller?
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimblett to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates. Welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host today, Tyler.
I'm Peter.
And I'm Jack, otherwise known as Let's Crash This Parade.
Yeah.
Well, on this episode, we're reviewing My Pick on the Wheel Destiny. Finally, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Oh, yeah.
They are the world's most
God
deadly
damn it, this fucking
assassins.
voice.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, this
Their
voice.
identities are a secret. Even from each other.
So how's word?
We had a little trouble with the commission.
So how's the plan?
What, are you looking for a job or something?
You are the job.
Oh, got him.
That was so
Problems
badass.
yourself. Did you do something new?
I added peas.
Ah, peas. I love my wife, but there are times.
There's this huge space between us, and it just keeps filling up with everything that we don't say to each other.
What do you think she learned to shoot like that?
Looks like it's government or something.
You've just been identified by a competing agent. How are you going to handle it?
I'm gonna borrow this.
Yeah.
Sweetheart.
Love
Very True Lies.
gets lethal.
You even have the same song.
You obviously want me dead. And I'm less and less concerned for your well-being. So what do we do?
From the director of The Born
fuck.
Identity.
Come on, sweetheart. Come to daddy.
Come to daddy.
Who's your daddy now?
Brad Pitt. Angelina Jolie.
Still alive, baby?
And Mrs. Smith.
You know that you're ticking.
I love that scene.
Can you imagine if he didn't tell him that he was ticking?
Yeah, he would have. The movie would have been over.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry you couldn't see that video, Jack.
all right. Well, this is
I can say it.
Oh, you can see it?
Oh, good.
Okay, good.
2005's Mr. and Mrs. Smith, starring, of course, Brangelina.
Oh, I forgot about their
Yeah.
vague dual name.
Well, yeah. Well, it's an interesting fact about this movie is this is what broke up Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt's relationship because they got freaky on the set.
They got freaky on the set.
Oh,
You're a grown man. You can't say that.
why not? What?
You say they made love.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Coitus.
they made love on
There
each
was
other
full
and what-
penetration.
on the trailer. Or
No,
in the
no. I don't like that last one.
coitus.
Coitus?
It's too medical for Jack.
Yeah. He calls it Congress. We had Congress.
So, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, it's about a married couple who are the most deadliest assassins in the world, like the trailer said. And they discover after... This is what the running bit that I like about in this movie is it's either 5 or 6 years ago when they met or 5 or 6 years ago into the present time. I thought that was really funny.
Mm-hmm.
So they are the deadliest assassins in the world. And then eventually they have the same job. And Brad Pitt fucks it up for Angelina Jolie's character, Jane. And her agency finds out that he's also in a competing spy agency as well. They find out about each other and then they, try to kill each other. And then they actually end up realizing after shooting and beating each other up, they team up to kill the people that have hits on their heads. So, yeah, I hadn't watched this movie in a really long time.
So this is a rewatch and you subjected us to this.
Correct.
You made what you thought would have been me and Joseph watch this movie. Instead,
I corralled Jack in.
you got Jack in.
Yeah. I hadn't watched this movie in a long time. I remember enjoying it, but upon rewatch, it's a really fun movie.
Okay.
It's like a fun movie. And so let's go around the table. Pete, this is not your first watch, right?
No, I saw it. I didn't see it in theaters, but I did see it back then. And on a rewatch, I have to agree. It's very fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a good popcorn movie. It's a good, good like date movie too. I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Good to curl up with a nice body pillow and your waifu pillow and just watch this movie and cry deep tears into it.
Jesus,
no,
it brought you to tears.
That's how I did it.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's fun. I mean, it's Doug Liman. I mean,
right.
Liman.
Yes, I forgot to mention the director. He later in his career, he started doing TV work.
Lyman brings the hits. He's known for hits, baby. He never misses, except for sometimes. But I don't know. I feel like the direction of the movie leads itself to just, we know this movie is ridiculous. We know that the only way to make it fun is to go over the top into the realm of, this could never happen.
Of course it couldn't.
Yeah.
Of course it couldn't.
Because you're like, it was almost like an alternative universe from Wanted, the Angelina Jolie movie where she can curve a bullet.
Yeah.
Bullet, yeah.
I was thinking of Wanted while I was watching it. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Good. I'm glad I'm not off base because it's like the craziness of that movie, bring it down like 5-6 notches.
Yeah.
And cut out this ridiculous kind of frenetic editing that whoever that director was, made into that movie. Because there's a lot of stuff in there that feels like Crank 2 high voltage, where it's like McAvoy's face, like, oh my God, I'm a panic attack.
Oh yeah,
yeah. It was a little bit more subdued in that sense.
I actually love Wanted.
It's fun. It's good.
Yeah, it's a fun movie.
I just watched it for the first time last year, and I had a great time with it. I feel that's a movie that knows what it is. This is a movie that knows what it is. Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah,
is
that's fair.
It's like, you're watching it and you go, okay, timeline of the movie. They meet each other. They're both wearing all white. They just got done doing a job.
Yeah.
They're not dirty for some reason. So it's just like Megan Fox in Transformers rolling around in the desert in those bright white pants, not a fucking speck of dirt on them. And they get into this hot and steamy relationship because they're two of the most beautiful people in the world and they know it.
Yes,
and
they're very attractive.
And they get quickly.
You would think that like assassins would be really ugly so they could blend in like with the crowd and not be like supermodel status.
Well,
that's a bit like the first Terminator with Arnold Schwarzenegger is supposed to blend in, but like fucking massive Austrian guy.
I know. Let's give him an Austrian accent too. But there is a line in it that specifically talks about Jolie, how she potentially has a body count from, sleeping with people to get to her marks.
Right.
Vince Vaughn implies that at some point. So maybe that is advantageous for someone like her or him. But anyways, the timeline of the characters, they meet each other, they get married, they move in together. Either they buy a house or that was one of their houses already that they're living in together, right?
Yeah. I didn't catch about the home ownership.
It doesn't tell you, but they're now living in one house together. So it's either they bought a house or it was one of their houses before the marriage, right? They have secret compartments in the oven. They have secret basements under the shed. They both have secret compartments. When did they build these things?
That's a really good point. I did not think about.
And as I was watching it, I'm like, you know what? I don't know if I can get on board with this premise. And then I said, you know what, Pete? Easy. Back off. It's Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Have fun. Why don't you? And that's
far too impractical.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I turned my brain off a little bit and I'm like, okay, these guys are two very attractive people are going to say these stupid one-liners and shoot at each other. And, it's not nearly as good as something like, I don't know, like True Lies. Because I think there's a comp there. There's
Nobody Man.
Just Nobody.
Oh, it's Nobody. No, I thought it was Nobody Man.
Nobody Man. No, that's the Nobody superhero spinoff is when he gets radioactive powers. Oh. Yeah. But
he got bit by a nobody.
Yeah, that's right. So anyways, at the end of the day, what did the movie try to do? It tried to entertain me, have a good time, have a lot of cool action set pieces and some clever dialogue and stuff. And there were a number of very eye-rolly moments, like when she goes, "Who's your daddy?" Okay.
Yes, that was...
Okay, Jolie, we get it. You're hot. You don't have to talk like that all the time. But yeah, it's good. It's very fun. And I think that the world needs movies like this.
Right.
This could have been a shit show and it was entertaining. So... Yeah, I thought it was a really solid time. So thanks for forcing me to rewatch it. And Brianna too. She says very fun. Very fun.
Awesome. Jack, what did you think about this movie? Was this a first watch for you?
Look, so I'd seen it before, but it was when I was like pretty young, I think. So I didn't remember anything about it really. So let's essentially say it's a first time watch, you know?
Sure. I mean, there's another Tyler here because every time I say if I watch the first time movie, if it's a second rewatch, but I haven't seen it,
might as well be the first time.
Yeah. Well, it came out when I was 9. So.
He has an excuse. Jack's a youngster. He's 10 years younger than me.
How old are you, Jack?
28.
What?
Pete's 30.
That's right.
And I'm 32?
Yeah, you are.
Wow, we got a youngster on the show. I think you're the youngest person that's been on our show.
Yeah, sorry. I got that. I got that young Riz.
Yeah. We had Andrew Perky call into the show, Bruce's son.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was great.
He took us to task.
Yes, he did.
He's got me by quite a few years, I think, right?
Yeah, I think I have a drop from him. Let's see, where is this? Yeah, he did not want to hear any of our bullshit.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
that sounds a bit like me, actually.
I know. Billy Madison, who?
So essentially this is your first watch. How'd you think of it?
Yeah, so I was a bit worried that I wouldn't have much to say because much like it's just kind of like cute, you know? It's just a fun, cute movie.
All right.
There's not a lot of meat to it, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like pretty casually fun. And I guess that's about it.
Yeah. Great.
Did you enjoy yourself?
Yeah. I mean, you know, the higher pitch your voice goes, the more believable that is, right?
All right.
I wouldn't say I loved it. I wouldn't say it blew me away or anything, but
okay.
Yeah. Passes time, whatnot.
Well,
can you give us the set and setting? Tyler likes to know what day, time, what meal.
And the runtime.
Yeah, runtime also.
Yes.
What meal did you eat before, perhaps in the middle of, and after?
I had cheesecake. I had caramel cheesecake.
Cheesecake?
Yeah.
And then watching Mrs. and Mr. and Mrs. Smith. God damn it.
Correct. It's called Mr. and Mrs. Smith. That's right.
And you did it on a short notice too, because we nailed down you coming onto the show like what, 2 days ago, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 2 days ago.
And
I watched it like 5 hours after you told me that I was coming on.
I gotta go.
Yo.
Was it night?
I rushed home. I was already home, but I rushed home.
Was it?
I was like, shit, Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Proper response.
What?
It was about 9:00 p.m., I would say.
Okay. Yeah. That's good. So I'm gonna read
riveting info, right?
Oh, it matters. It matters.
It matters. It definitely matters.
It was a Thursday. You watched this? Was it Thursday?
No, it was Friday.
Okay, well, I have no excuse then because this is a Friday night movie.
Yeah.
Watched it at the right time in the right. You had the cheesecake. It even says in the notes, watch it pairs best with caramel cheesecake, and he still didn't have a good time.
That's okay.
I didn't say I didn't have a good time.
He said he hated it.
Fuck this movie.
Oh no.
That's what I think.
Well, it sounds like you're warm to it. Great. So I'm going to read my letterboxd review of Mr. and Mrs. Smith. There we go.
Hello. Come along, won't you? As Tyler reads his own letterboxd reviews. This is me, myself, and Tyler.
God damn it.
Beautiful.
So I rated this movie 4 stars.
Ooh.
So this is what I have to say about Mr. and Mrs. Smith on Letterboxd. This movie is such a fun time. The actors are so charismatic and the action is dumb fun. I thought the writing was good for the most part, although there was some cringe one-liners. This movie is a great turn your mind off kind of movie. Pitt and Jolie are, I believe, at their peak sexiness. This is a movie I could watch really anytime. It's a good afternoon movie. Also, Vince Vaughn kills it with the character he provided. Grade B+, and a report.
4 stars, B plus.
Yeah.
What's 4.5 stars?
What do you mean?
A minus, A.
I don't know.
And then a 5 stars, A plus.
I don't know. It's a complicated system in my head.
I just think whenever it's impossible for me to not think about that when you give the letter grade and the star grade at the same time. Because I go, okay, well, 3 stars was a B minus.
Yeah. Do
the
math, yeah.
You can't figure out the my mind is an enigma.
Yeah.
You know, so
It's a labyrinth.
yeah. But anyways, yeah, so I actually do remember watching this movie when it first came out. I think I didn't watch it in theaters. I had it on DVD, and I just remember being insanely attracted to Angelina Jolie.
I remember being insanely attractive too.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, maybe so. You know, I was thinking during the viewing of this movie, there was a glow to them on screen. You knew they were having relations, because that acting that acting was just it's good. It's good. They act like a really good couple on screen.
Are on each other.
Yeah. And so I really like the gunplay as well, although it's super fantastical, obviously. I just don't. They would be dead in seconds during that house raid. They would be dead in seconds.
But she had a knife. She threw a knife at the guy.
Yeah, that's true, and that was badass. And I actually had a funny thought too when they first discovered that they're both assassins. When he's running through the yard and stuff, and he falls through the fence and shot the gun on accident, and it hits the window. I was thinking, man, what if it clipped her or something? That would have been kind of a fun, where it clipped her. It doesn't kill her, but it grazes her head.
I really like the fact that the first shot was an accident, because it leads to more complexity between the give and take between the two characters.
Right.
It's not just like, I got to kill him because he's my enemy. Now there's, well, I really wasn't going to kill him before because I do care about this guy, but then he shot at me, so now I have to kill him.
I think my favorite scene in the movie was when they finally stand off in the living room, and he has the shotgun to her and she has the pistol, and he just lowers the gun. He's like, I can't do it. And like that really, I felt that, because I put myself in that scenario. If I found out my significant other was like a competing assassin that had to kill me, and I had to kill her.
I don't think you're supposed to think that deeply about
it. except in that scenario, that partner would just kill me right then and there. They'd just be like, "Oh, you can't kill me? Okay."
Yeah, I mean, I know what you mean. It's,
what if Brianna was an assassin? Come on, you wouldn't have the stones to put a bullet in her head.
No, I wouldn't. You know, I think that's why I like the setup. I think the setup.
Wow, you wouldn't kill your partner? Wow.
I know. Give me an award, won't you? But the setup is good in the sense that they're shooting at each other, but the way I thought about it was, they're so good at their job, both of them. Clearly, they're
world-class
assassins. If they wanted to kill each other, they would have killed each other.
Right.
So it's almost like this posturing. It's like this a peacock effect where you're like, oh, I'm gonna kill you because you're my enemy now. But
that's a good point.
There never was intent there. And I think the nuance of the two characters, the nuance of the two actors, kind of pushing now I really want to kill him. It feels similar to how, like, I think some marriages are, in the sense that you love somebody, but you're like, God, they get under my fucking nerves sometimes.
Yeah.
God, that fucking guy. I could strangle him right now. And you're like, would you really strangle your husband?
Well, I mean, it was like in the therapy scene where he's, sometimes I just want to.
Yeah. So I think that I really want to see the Donald Glover remake or the series reboot, I guess.
I've heard it was really good.
I have too. I've heard good things, and I like Donald Glover a lot. But I think in the series, they already know each other are assassins, so the element of surprise is gone from what I read.
I think the reveal was really well done. It wasn't like drawn out. like the tension that John.
They get into it real fast in the movie
Yeah.
as far as they discover that the other one is.
And I like that too, because I mean, the movie's already 2 hours long. So when I was looking at the runtime initially, I was thinking, okay, let's not draw out the reveal. Let's just get it over with, because it would happen because they're spies.
Yeah.
What was that, Jack?
Because it's you don't want to keep what we already know is the premise a secret. Like we know going in, there's no need to,
Exactly.
piss around with it.
Yeah.
I do think it took them a little while to get to the point where it showed the audience that they were assassins, because for the first part, they don't even say, they're like, oh, we met in Bosnia.
Yeah.
And there's a helicopter or whatever. And it heavily implies that there was something there, but it doesn't show really a whole lot of anything. And then the rest of the setup of them being bored with each other after 5 or 6 years of marriage, it just shows them going off to their job, going off to this job. It doesn't really show a lot of the actual assassin work.
Yeah.
Until you get to Brad Pitt in the poker game. Which
the poker game.
I thought that was a pretty good scene.
Yeah, that was pretty clever.
Second movie that I know of that Brad Pitt has a underground poker scene in a basement. That Ocean's 11 is the other one.
Oh yeah.
And then at the same moment, Jolie is doing the job where she has to wear the leather dominatrix outfit.
Yeah.
Which was appreciated. I appreciated that scene.
Yeah. I really,
as a man.
Well, it really pays off too, because they go to their suburban family or their suburban neighbor's dinner party or whatever. And she had to put the dress on over and she was wearing the fishnets and the boots still.
The one person that gives her the raise their eyes.
that was a good part, or good scene.
I think it's worth mentioning that the movies is a lot funnier than I remember.
Yeah,
it's a lot more. I got a lot more laughter.
Yeah, it's more of a comedy than an action movie, I'd say.
I think that's a pretty safe thing to say. I'm on board with that.
Yeah, I think a lot of married couples would probably like this movie when it came out in 2005. They're just like, yeah, we have these same arguments all the time.
Yeah, exactly. The part that got me the biggest laugh was when they both race home. They find out that they know about each other.
Yeah.
And they both race home, and Brad Pitt knows that Jane is in the house, and he goes to grab his neighbor and give him a tour of the house. And he goes,
that was smart.
It was so
yeah.
And he's like, it's John Smith, right? His name is John.
His name is John.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, John, I'm so glad we lived together next to each other, toward each other for 3 years. I've never seen the inside of your house. And he like leads him in like a human shield.
No, yeah. He's like pulling him by the arm.
He's like guiding him around. He's like that guy played the part.
Wouldn't
perfectly.
that be concerning if like your neighbor did that? I'd be like, okay, we're getting a little too familiar here.
That was a great scene. I got a really hearty laugh about that.
Yeah, I did too. I thought it was really clever though as well, because it shows you like his intelligence of knowing like how to protect yourself from someone who's trying to kill you. So I really liked. It's just like those little subtle things that they did for each of the main characters on how, because I think they said like they were like the top world greatest assassins. I don't know if they say it, but it's heavily implied.
Possibly.
So just like
super spy assassins, it doesn't really matter.
But I think one of the other funniest scenes I found was when the neighbors knock on the door after they've reconciled and had their gunfight and made their love on each other. He like opens up the door and there's like cops there and everything. And the neighbor's like, "Oh, are you doing some redecorating?" Oh yeah, they just pretend like they were knocking boots. And it's just like it's just nonsense, because the cop would look in there and be like, what the hell is going on in here? You know what? I'm getting a warrant right now. I'm getting a warrant.
Doing funniest scenes. The funniest scene for me was when he gets into the car while she's driving. She jumps out of the car.
Oh yeah.
The car goes flying, and he just says, "We need to talk."
Yeah.
I don't know.
We're supposed to be in a car when it goes off a cliff, by the way, in the back window.
Dude, I was wondering how he came out of that unscathed.
Hey, he was a little bit dirty.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, yeah, okay. Fair point. Point.
It has the vibe of a cartoon, like a spy versus spy Mad TV cartoon, where it's like I'm going to drop a bomb on this person and somehow they're still alive in the next scene, you know?
Yeah. Or with all the explosions that were going off too, that impact would kill anyone.
Yeah. Real quick detour and we'll get back to the movie, but Roger Corman just died in real life. Roger Corman, producer Roger Corman. He was
I got
he's one of the most prolific producers like of all time. He's got 491 production credits.
My God.
On IMDb. I'm going to go back and list some of his early ones. Let's see here. Goes all the way back.
You're going through 400 films.
Jeez.
From 1954 was his first one. Interesting. Oh, interesting. His fifth credit was The Beast with a Million Eyes, which I've never heard of that before, but there is the Futurama movie was called The Beast with a Million Backs. Which is a takeoff of the phrase of having sex is like making the beast with two backs.
Yeah.
It's a beast with a million backs. That's weird. I had never had any idea. It was a homage to an old Roger Corman movie. Yeah,
man.
He's got.
He was 98. He was 98 years old.
He was known for Silence of the Lambs. Wow.
Yeah, he played FBI director Hayden Burke. Wrote Little Shop of Horrors. Literally, I mean, you could probably pick a movie. He probably was a producer on it.
Wow. How old was he?
Oh, Jack, what'd you say? How old was he?
98.
Oh,
yeah,
wow. Yeah, his time has come.
He was able to actually use that money.
Yeah, his time has come.
Yeah, it's very, very sad. Joe Bridges in the chat says he's mostly well known to have hands-on film school for directors like Ron Howard, Joe Dante, James Cameron, and Martin Scorsese.
Well,
so he basically was like, I guess, gave them their start.
Yeah, and he was the go-to guy if you wanted to be a legendary filmmaker.
I've heard this name a billion times. I couldn't tell you exactly what his role in Hollywood was, but he's one of those guys that kind of shaped Hollywood, I believe, at least the modern era.
Well, let me ask. Well, going back to Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. He's 6 feet under.
Come on, Jesus Christ.
He's 6 feet under. All right, fine. He's done.
Fuck him. Who cares?
Tyler Noe, Knowy. I'll leave his mailing address in the show notes.
I wanted to ask you guys what you guys.
Tyler just dancing on his grave.
Yeah. No.
How can I make this into a bit?
No, I'm making water on his grave. Rest in peace, you son of a bitch. Anyways. What were your favorite action sequence, or what was your favorite action sequence in this movie, Jack and Pete?
So that's a funny question because I actually thought
what's comedic about it?
I'm getting to it because of my thought.
Okay.
Because of my thought.
Let him talk. Damn it.
So it's funny because I was thinking that if this movie was made today, that the action scenes probably would have been a lot more bombastic.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys were saying it was very over the top. I actually thought in regards to the action itself, it was over the top in terms of they would die realistically. And there are like things like that going on. But the set pieces were fairly, I don't know if I'd call them small, but it wasn't like end of the world shit. And it wasn't like
restrained.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a way, because they are getting shot at and stuff and whatnot, but it felt a bit more, it didn't feel grounded, but it felt more small scale, I guess.
Okay, yeah, I can see what you're saying, yeah.
But I guess if I had to pick a favorite action scene, that's the question.
Yes.
I guess probably just the final shootout, like in the store. That was pretty fun.
Oh, yeah.
That was good. Yeah, I like that one a lot. Best action sequence. I liked him jumping or entering the scene out in the desert when they see each other for the first time and they don't realize they see each other.
Yeah.
And he's got that dune buggy with the tongue painted on the side.
Listening to dad rock.
Yeah. He's listening to freaking hair. What do they call that? Yacht rock or hair metal? Or
hair metal,
like
yeah.
It's not hair metal because I feel like that's more like headbanger shit.
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
It's just old. It's just classic rock.
Yeah. He's having a good time. He's out there having a ball. So I like that. I like the poker scene. And those are not particularly action-y scenes.
No. Well, yeah, kind of, but
I also did like when they get raided at home and they first become like friends again, I guess. They partner back up again.
Yeah.
I liked that bit. Because it's like a steady stream of people coming into the house and you're like, oh, they're doing this for $800,000.
Right.
because they both have bounties on their heads for $400,000 at this point.
Now that's what didn't make sense to me. Like, you're willing to risk your life for $800,000 split in between God knows how many ways.
Well, whoever kills them gets the money.
Okay, so it's a free for all.
Yeah, because then after you kill them, you got to kill all the other assassins because they're gonna take the body.
Yeah.
I don't know. Would they just check the body cam footage to see who actually delivered the?
They're wearing
the final
body
bullet?
cams.
I don't know. We'll see.
It was 2005. I don't know if they had them.
Let's watch the behind the scenes footage real quick. I'm just kidding. Yeah. What about you, Tyler?
My favorite action sequence would have to be the freeway scene. I really like that one. Mostly because of the dialogue between Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie.
That was pretty fun. Yeah, it was a pretty fun one.
And it showed just like such chemistry between the two characters when he's like driving and she's saying, what are you doing? This is evasive driving.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt I would say something like that if I was in that situation with my partner.
That was a pretty good impression.
Yeah.
What?
So the evasive driving.
This is evasive driving.
It's like Brad Pitt's in the room with me.
But,
well, they wrote the dialogue to make it seem like something that you would have a normal married couple say to each other.
Right. And that's what I really enjoyed about it.
Yeah. I think that's the strength of the movie is the kind of clever dialogue.
Yeah.
And they're very comfortable with each other, probably because they were inside each other for a lot of this production.
Yes, they definitely were. And so,
that's true. The gimmick is that it's all about marriage and stuff. You know, that is totally what sets it apart and actually made me sort of like it more than just, they're spies and who cares why they're killing each other. You know what I mean? There's some emotional stuff in there.
It's interesting. It gives you something a little bit more to cling on to than just a shoot 'em up action.
Well, it makes it more humanistic. And so and
there's a lot of boomer humor too. Like, I hate my wife, you know?
Yeah.
That's, yeah. You know what? I will defend this movie in regards to that because it's like the boomer joke of my wife is terrible, isn't she the worst? Is so prevalent. It makes no sense to me with no context to the scenario.
Right.
But when you see the characters 5-6 years later, it's not like they hate each other. They're just checked out. They're like, they probably have been like running through the hottest, people on the planet for their entire adult lives because they're these ultra rich, ultra thrill seeking, live on the edge personalities.
Very athletic.
That are probably banging bareback to these people all over the country because they have no regard for their safety. And now they're like wifed up in a house in the suburbs and they got these neighbors that want to look at their redwood floors and shit. And they're just like, this sucks. I gotta be in therapy for this bitch, you know? So it's like that's the mentality.
Right.
And it's almost just like they're not angry at each other, they're just checked out. Right. But all of the bickering of the back and forth, it's like if you said that if you've been in a long-term relationship for quite some time, or you ever have been, if you said that your relationship wasn't like that from time to time, you're lying.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, because
try getting to an event with your significant other in the passenger seat and you're driving, and both of you think you have the right route to the event.
Yeah,
it does not end well.
It's not. It's not that. It's. I don't know. I didn't get. I get what you're saying, but I loved because I could see myself in the scenario where we're getting shot at, and my partner is saying, what the hell are you doing? Why stay still? I can't shoot. Yeah. I'd be like, it's called evasive driving. And
again, Brad Pitt.
And then she says, let me drive.
Your Jolie impression's not as good though.
No, well, I don't have a feminine voice, so that
Tyler, get that mic right up to you.
Yeah, it's right there. It's right there. It's right on the kisser lips. Yeah, right on the lips.
I'm not saying it wasn't funny, but there were just some parts that like made me roll my eyes. Like this part I wrote down. She says, "We have this huge space between us, and it just keeps filling up with everything that we don't say to each other. What's that called?" And the therapist is like, "Marriage." And I'm like, "Oh, they thought they were being so clever with that line." You know,
I don't know any.
You ready for it? Marriage?
I don't know any therapist who would say something like that to a person in couple counseling. That's ridiculous.
Speaking of the freeway scene, I have to say, of all the unrealistic things about the movie, her shooting at the two cars and what happens to those cars immediately after is the least plausible thing in the entire script. She shoots, I think it's 4 bullets split between 2 cars. So you presume that both cars took 2 bullets. The wheel comes off. Immediately. The wheel shoots up into the air. The other one flips over.
Haven't you played San Andreas where you shoot that little square and the whole thing blows up?
No, I have not. It reminded me of the ridiculousness of when a car launches off of a cliff. It's one of my favorite gags of all time because it's so brazenly inaccurate that it makes me laugh so much. The car flies off the cliff. Before it hits the ground, it explodes. I love that. It's so stupid. You're like, what happened in midair to make the car blow up?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, like at the end of the sequence where the cars like blow up in like just in a fantastic way. Mm-hmm. I was thinking to myself, I don't think a pistol can do that to a car.
No, just the sheer inertia of the bullet. Like if you're to believe that the wheel came off because it got hit with a bullet, that means that the bullet went through both of the mounting bolts of the upper control arm. Yeah. And it just, the whole weight of the pressure of the car lay down on the suspension and it whipped out from underneath. And you're like, that was a good shot. I mean, I know she's a good shot because we saw at the carnival that she did the thing with the air gun.
That was a cute little scene. I like that where she pretends to be dumb.
She gave herself away though.
Yeah.
And then eventually she's like, I want to try again. Bing, 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 bing. Where'd you learn how to shoot? Like that.
Yeah. There you go. Love it. What was I going to say?
Beginner's luck.
Oh, yeah, that's it. That's what she says.
Oh, yeah.
There's a small moment in there where I thought it was cute, and it's probably a Brad Pitt, just the improv thing, where he's got the little baby stuffed animal he won, and she's got the gigantic one. Mm-hmm. And as they're walking by and she says that line, he just throws it in some random person's like arms as they're walking the opposite direction. He just like dumps it off and
that was so suave.
Yeah,
that was so.
Oh, okay.
That's why
I didn't catch that.
Big bucks.
Yeah, that was so suave. He just does it. I mean, of course he's getting in her pants.
Small complaint. I think Brad Pitt is pretty bad in this, acting wise. Yeah, did not. I feel like he's phoning it in.
I do think that it's like kind of an easy role, if that makes sense, but I liked him. I was thinking during it, I'm like, I never really got Brad Pitt until Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I didn't really care one way or the other about him. And then I saw that and I'm like, this guy's fucking cool.
Yeah.
But going back, I was kind of wrong, and he's kind of always been cool, and I felt that there.
Yeah. He has the zhuzh. He's got the je ne sais quoi about him. He's got like that cool factor, but I never felt like he was really acting. I felt like he was just kind of on set when they were filming.
Yeah, he wasn't acting. He was just working.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I
just wanted them to call a 30-minute break so we can go get back in the Kuntazi. I got Jolie waiting for me in my trailer. Can we wrap this fucking scene?
Yeah.
Please.
I mean, I think I agree with you on that. I feel like he's just working, but he did it in a way where it was entertaining. Like it because you can. There was a movie I was thinking of where like people were. American Sniper. It felt like people were just phoning it in. But in this movie, it felt like
that baby was really phoning it in.
Oh yeah, no, that baby was awful.
It was one of the worst examples of stuffed baby.
That
baby doll.
That baby, her career in Hollywood is ruined.
Which is the more ridiculous baby, the American Sniper baby or Renesmee from Twilight New Moon Saga Part 9 or whatever?
I've never seen that movie before.
They CGI the baby.
It's part 5.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, of course you would know, Jack.
Is it
Twilight expert.
Is it new?
No, not New Moon. New Moon is 2. Breaking Dawn.
What's the
Part
last
2.
2 movies are?
Isn't it like
Breaking Dawn. Breaking Dawn.
Breaking Dawn Part 1,
Breaking
Breaking Dawn
Dawn.
Part 2. Okay.
Yeah.
That's 4 and 5.
New Moon is number 2.
Thank you.
3 is Eclipse and 4 is
Breaking
Dawn.
But yeah, in that movie,
Twilight expert.
Thank you, appreciate it. Bella and Edward have a baby, and she has a vampire baby, and they CGI the face on the baby. It's one of the creepiest things I've ever seen in my life. It's so fucking terrifying.
Is it like the zombie baby in the remake of Dawn of the Dead?
Somehow worse. It's somehow worse because
It's like that. What's it called? The valley, the creepy valley. Something.
Uncanny Valley.
Yeah, that's it. It's like the best example of that.
Yeah, it's very weird. It's like they took a Cabbage Patch doll and they put a CGI human face on it.
Yeah.
But it's got this dumb smirk on its face, and it looks like neither of them. I would love it if they just CGI'd like Kristen Stewart's face right onto the baby. They give it Robert Pattinson's like dead eyes. Anyways, we're talking about
we're
talking about American
How about
Sniper.
you? How about you and Jack go and make a Twilight podcast?
Hey, it's not outside the realm of possibilities. In the internet age, we can.
But yeah. So I think this movie overall for me is it's fun, rewatchable. I don't. You know, it's interesting because I kind of miss cable television now.
Mm-hmm.
Because with cable television, you could just turn on the TV and something will be on. But
this is so the kind of movie that would just have been on TV and you just like watch it.
Exactly. So like you could pop in like halfway through the movie and like still be entertained. Commercials be damned. It's fine. Like I miss those cable TV days.
Mm-hmm.
Because for myself, I can't see myself putting this on my own accord. However, if it was just on somehow, some way, and I just happened to pass by it, I would definitely watch it.
That makes sense.
He's looking up some boots right now.
Yeah, Joe Bridges, he mentioned last week when we said that this was going to be the movie, and he said that Jolie made red wellies a very popular thing, boots.
She made them popular?
From this movie, and
Really?
I thought it was like Louboutins or something like that.
Huh?
Red wellies, like a nickname for some like fancy, shoe or something.
Yeah.
But they're the red like rain boots that she's wearing in one of these scenes where the house is blown up, and they're just like, they look like waders.
Yeah.
Like tall boots with a strap on the side. I didn't know that was a thing, Joe. I mean, they're cool. They're cool looking.
I don't know. I'm impartial to them.
People are weird about.
Oh God, that looks weird.
Tyler hates the boots.
No, I don't like them. No, after seeing that picture, no.
The only thing that Tyler wants red on his boots are his laces. That's it.
You're endangering my life.
That's it. Just the
You're
laces.
endangering my life.
He said the rest can be black for all I care, and that's the only thing.
God.
Yeah, I didn't notice that, Joe.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But I do see a bunch of pictures. I'm Googling it right now. And there's a lot of people who are like, I want these boots. These boots were Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I need these boots.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was 13 in 2005 and I wasn't really paying attention to fashion trends. So
I also wasn't really paying attention to fashion trends when I watched this.
You're like, my parents dressed me back then.
Oh, so here's I'm going to read off some fun trivia about Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Okay.
So Brad Pitt reportedly left the project after Nicole Kidman dropped out and a replacement had not yet been found. Once Angelina Jolie signed on, he returned to the project.
I mean, smart move, I guess.
It's so funny that he did that. When Jane is going to her first shown kill, she correctly answers a question from the quiz show Jeopardy that was unscripted and spur of the moment on the part of Angelina Jolie.
I don't remember that.
It was when she was dressed up in the leather dress. Mm-hmm. And I did notice this because I'm a huge fan of Jeopardy.
Uh-huh.
And they did Alex Trebek, rest in peace, did a question on like something about embezzlement or something like that.
Okay.
And the answer was Martha Stewart. And then she just kind of,
I do remember that.
She just says under her breath, Martha Stewart.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, God damn it, that's awesome. That was really cool. Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie were paid $20 million for their roles.
Damn.
That is hot money.
Yeah, it is.
That is absurd. That is wrong, almost.
It kind of does feel wrong, Jack. I agree with you. $20 million for this movie? Kidding me?
Well,
imagine that, you know?
Hottest fucking names at the time. The hottest names at the time.
Yeah, they were. You're right, but still.
Yeah, but just give me one of the millions.
I know.
Just give me one of them.
I just want one.
The budget was 110 mil, which is a lot back then.
So a quarter of the budget was to Angelina Jolie.
Yeah,
Brad
40 million out of less than 12. So
Almost,
yeah,
almost half, really.
That's crazy. The box office for this total take home $487 million.
Yeah, it was. I remember it being.
Damn, this was a phenomenon.
I remember it being a popular movie.
Oh, interesting though. Only 186 million domestic. The other 300 million was overseas.
Oh,
people love their.
The other thing.
Yeah.
The other thing to think about though is this is 2005. They probably made just as much money again on DVDs.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's just box office. That's not.
Yeah,
DVDs.
that's not even DVDs because I mean I bought a DVD like at like some like those random truck stop gas stations where they sell DVDs. I think I bought that there.
Do they have those there, Jack?
Not anymore. You could maybe get a DVD at the petrol station back in the day, but fuck no, not nowadays.
now it's just at Walmart. Do they have Walmart over there?
Nah, not Walmart. We got JB Hi-Fi. There's this place called Sanity, but I don't know. I don't even know where Sanity is nowadays, if that even still exists. There's not many places nowadays, which is
DVD
depressing. Yeah, DVDs and Blu-rays.
Probably thrift stores, I would imagine.
I go to that's where I get everything. Yeah. But that's a lot of you really gotta hunt for shit.
Yeah. Walmart is kind of a default for physical media in a sense that they have a bargain bin.
Yeah, they just have a bin.
It's $5 or less, and it's a literal pile, like a 3.5 foot tall bin.
Yeah, we've got similar like department stores like Big W, Kmart, but they're sort of slowly phasing them out.
You have Kmart?
Oh yeah, we got Kmart. Yeah,
that's crazy.
I know.
Wait, you guys don't have Kmart?
We used to.
Not anymore.
We're the
yeah.
So just like England founded democracy and brought it to you guys and us, we founded Kmart and then donated it to you guys.
Yeah, we've got Target as well.
Oh,
is that interesting?
We got Target. Target's like high-end Walmart.
Yeah. People are like, no, let's just go to Target.
Yeah, I don't want to set foot in a Walmart. I do Target though.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
Walmart blows my mind, dude. You can get guns at Walmart.
Food, DVDs, cameras, refrigerators, TVs. Yeah, more guns, fishing rods.
You
can get your tires serviced on your car.
Get your tires. Yeah, just anything.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pokemon cards.
Yeah, I think, but everything's locked.
I got a Spider-Man T-shirt from there when I went.
Oh hell yeah! There you go. The writer on this is single credited writer Simon Kinberg.
Yeah.
And
I meant to look them up.
Listen to this, okay? The decision-making process in Hollywood always blows my mind because the only credit that he has as a feature-length movie before this was XXX State of the Union.
That was the sequel, right?
Yeah, I want to say
sequel.
It might have even been the third of the series. Yeah,
with
this
Ice
is the one
Cube.
that has Ice Cube in it. It doesn't even have fucking Riddick in it. Yeah. So
that's Dom Toretto.
Yeah, sorry. He doesn't have Dom Toretto in it. Yeah. But they went from that movie, the third of a shitty franchise where the lead actor has been swapped out for a rapper. And then they give him $110 million budget movie to write with the two biggest stars in fucking Hollywood at the time.
Yeah, that's
what's his name? John Watts, who directed the Tom Holland Spider-Man. What did he do? He did Cop Car and Clown, and then he's given Spider-Man. What?
Cop Car and Clown are way better than XXX State of the Union.
Yeah,
way better.
I mean,
that's true. That's a good point.
But I see what you're.
Yeah, it's interesting how that works, but it ended up being. Well, it ended up being a success. It made money, and it certainly boosted Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's career everyone loved them, and I think Angelina Jolie was ovulating during that time too. She just had a certain glow to her face.
Fuck, why?
I'm not comfortable with this conversation. I'm gonna head out.
She had a certain glow to her face that I don't know. You can just tell like when women radiate.
Just stop.
Bruh,
Just stop.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
I'm making a good show. That's what I'm doing.
You're making good observations.
He's trying to get that hate mail that he always wants. A couple things. Number one, Adam Brody has a small part. We didn't even talk about him. He's basically...
Oh, yeah. He's the bait.
He's doing a job at the beginning, and then it turns out he's bait near the end.
Yeah.
Seth from the OC. Yes.
Yes. The kid detective himself. He's wearing a Fight Club shirt.
I noticed that.
In the interrogation scene.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And fight by Tyler Durden.
Yeah. I noticed that.
That's a fun little fact.
I wish the interrogation scene was a little bit more brutal.
Yeah. What? Brutal. I was gonna say longer. I just wanted them to have more cat and mouse with them.
Because like when I was watching the interrogation scene, I was thinking of the card counter interrogation scene,
and I was a really weird turn.
Well, exactly.
If it went from this fun, like crowd pleasing popcorn movie that you could watch with your family, and then all of a sudden he's dismembering him, and you hear the shrieks from the other room. You're like,
yeah, now we're speaking my language.
Tyler's like, this is why I'll never make it in Hollywood. The tone shift would be give people whiplash.
Well, that would be good though. That would be
no.
I think
Parasite did it.
That's true.
Parasite did do it. Oh man, that movie is great.
So the other thing is, Brianna and I were talking about who would be the contemporary replacement for these two movie stars. And I'm not saying,
oh, that's a fun question.
Yeah, and I'm not saying who acts like Brad Pitt and looks like Brad Pitt, but in the 2005, Brad Pitt is the height of male like sex appeal for women, star appeal.
Timothy Chalamet.
No. Wrong.
That's an option. And Angelina Jolie is absolutely like a bombshell sex symbol. And on top of it is an accomplished actress. Like she was in Girl Interrupted, she's been in all these kind of things. So,
right.
Jack, do you have a pairing?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
No, not a pairing. I only thought of the man, but
one or the other.
Ryan Reynolds is the obvious one.
Ryan Reynolds. You don't think?
But he's like a similar age to Brad Pitt, isn't
he? You don't think he's too? No, he's younger. You don't think he's too clever, funny guy, chuckle nuts?
I don't know. It's those the obvious ones. It's like Ryan Reynolds and Chris Pratt, even though everyone hates Chris Pratt. But
yeah.
Yeah, those guys. What about Chris Evans? Chris Evans
actually, that's a pretty good pick.
Yeah.
I said my contemporaries were Paul Rudd, Pedro Pascal, Michael Fassbender. Probably.
Oh, I love Paul Rudd.
Yeah, Paul Rudd.
That's a good one.
But he's also a clever, sort of funny guy, and which Brad Pitt became later in his career. But at this point, I don't think he had that sort of character actor vibe to him.
Does it have to be like currently now, or
who today? If you were to make Mr. and Smith today, and you wanted to get that same ultra superstar appeal from 2005's Brad Pitt, who would you cast?
Oh well, I was thinking of Angelina Jolie's character. I was thinking Anya Taylor-Joy.
She's up there.
Then
I don't think she'd do it though.
She might break in half. She's like a stick.
Well, she'd have to bulk up.
Yeah, bulk up.
And then for Brad Pitt's character,
it's a tough one. It's hard.
What was that sound?
What first came to mind was Pedro Pascal, but I don't think he
was one of my picks.
I don't think he would pair well with Anya Taylor-Joy. Wow, yeah, that's a tough one. I actually, you know what? I think Chris Evans. Would probably be the obvious choice.
I like it.
Yeah, but Jolie's character, I said Margot Robbie, Jennifer Lawrence.
Oh, Margot Robbie, that's a good one.
Jennifer Lawrence, maybe, but more, to be honest, Anne Hathaway. I think Anne Hathaway would crush it.
Yeah, no,
she's sneaky hot.
Yeah, no, that's right. That's the correct answer is Anne Hathaway.
I posted this on my Twitter feed, and I got people saying Gosling and Anna de Armas.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Gosling and de Armas would be pretty good.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, actually.
I think of the Ryans, I think Gosling fits the role a little bit better than Reynolds.
Yeah, a little bit.
I prefer Gosling, so yeah.
Someone else said Chris Pine would work, but he made the terrible This Is War movie, which also was written by the same actor, or the same guy, Simon Kinberg. Doug Liman may have directed that one too, for all I know.
Good Lord, Pete, did you not record on Audacity?
What?
Did you not record on Audacity?
No, I did not. But that's okay. I have the audio from here. Yeah.
Oh my God, you just terrified me.
Yeah, it's fine. What was I going to say here? Oh, the other people here. Glenn Powell was an option.
Okay.
Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah. We just make Anyone But You again. Florence Pugh is a possibility.
I can see that. I can see Florence Pugh doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have, but then she was in Black Widow, and it actually does sort of make sense.
Yeah. So, anyways, those are my selections. If anybody else has any options, Heather's in the chat. She says Chalamet's too slight. He's too small.
Yeah.
Unless you also cast Anya Taylor-Joy.
Well, I mean, I guess that could work if you're going to go into that direction.
She says, a couple of sticks thrown together in a particular manner makes fire after all. Oh, that's great, Heather. That's awesome.
Oh, man, that's awesome. Yeah, that's great. Great stuff. Do you guys have anything else to say about Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
No, I don't think so.
I have two questions.
Sure.
Two quick little questions.
Okay.
There is a scene where they are having dinner and they both suspect each other.
Yeah.
And the bottle of wine falls and she catches it like a super spy.
Yeah.
But then she drops it.
Huh?
What? To not look suspicious?
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Come on. She already did it. He already saw.
Yeah.
I think it was out of spite.
It could be, yeah.
I think it was out of spite because then they have a reason to leave the room to get prepared for the incoming.
That makes sense.
So I think it was like a diversion sort of thing.
That answers my question nicely, actually.
Yeah, that is.
You have.
Perfect.
Yeah.
You've perfectly amended that for me. Thank you, Tyler.
No problem.
No.
Also, Keith David's in this movie, right?
Oh,
but we never see him.
Yeah, you see the reflection on the screen.
Do we ever see him?
Just his reflection.
Yeah.
You hear?
I recognize his voice straight away.
Yeah,
because I know him as Jules in Saints Row.
Yeah.
Okay.
Video game.
Wow.
I'm like, that's Jules.
you do see his reflection, and I heard his voice, and then it just shows him sitting at a computer screen while he's like talking to her, and you see his reflection. And you're like, come on, you don't even show the greatness that is Craig David.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, why are they trying to keep it a secret when his voice is so recognizable? We know who it is.
You're just teasing us. That's why.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Let's get some grades on this movie, baby.
Okay.
Pete, what do you give this movie?
I'm going to go B+.
Right on.
Yeah, very fun. Great night watching movies, whether you're with friends or not with friends.
Mm-hmm.
If you're by yourself, I'm sure it's still fine. Yeah. But, if you're watching it in a group or with a significant other, I think it escalates the enjoyment.
Right.
And like I said, Doug Liman brings the hits, baby.
Oh, yeah.
So,
baby.
Yeah. I don't think that Doug Liman would be anywhere in the pantheon of greatest actors or greatest directors of our generation or anything. No. Even considered, I wouldn't even call him a particularly great director. But when you look at his history, it's like he makes a lot of really fun movies. They're doing exactly the job that they're designed to do. And when I hear Liman, I go, okay, that's probably going to be fun.
It feels creative as well. It doesn't feel like, cookie cutter.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like he's phoning it in, unlike Brad Pitt. So yeah, B+ for me.
Right on. Jack, what would you grade Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
I'd probably give it like a C+, I suppose. C+, baby.
All right. There we go.
Right on. All right. I already said my grade. That's a B+. For my set and setting for this movie is like I watched it in the morning of this Saturday that we're recording right now, and
we were all wondering.
Yeah, right now.
Oh yeah, no, hold on. Let me turn off my phone really quick.
Yeah, he's still watching it.
But I watched it, and it was like a perfect morning movie. I had my bowl of eggs.
Bowl of eggs? What the fuck?
Yeah, I had my bowl of eggs.
How do you make the eggs?
Scrambled, of course.
You put in a bowl?
Yeah.
Why don't you put it on a plate?
Why would I? No, bowls are the preferred vehicle of food.
Spoon or fork?
Fork.
What the fuck?
Why would you use it? Okay, well, you're learning a lot about.
I agree with the full option.
I am not joking.
Joe Bridges says, "Do you pour milk over your eggs?" Eat it like cereal. Actually, you know what? I think if they're scramby eggs, I think a bowl probably is better. But use a spoon.
Why?
Because the edge is round. The bowl edge is round.
Yeah, I don't know.
You got a flat, sharp edge on a fork into a round bowl interior.
It's not like a bowl. It's like a plate bowl.
Oh, you just have one of those like highfalutin billionaire plate bowls like your mom has?
Yeah, that's correct.
Tyler's mom was basically eating off of like bone china and ground elephant tusk.
On ivory, yeah.
Yeah, ivory.
Yeah, I'm a
ivory utensils.
I don't know, chat. If you don't know this, I'm very...
Mighty Joe Young's skull.
I don't know if you know, chat, but I'm a very affluent person.
Yeah, he grew up in money, but he pretends like he didn't.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, look at the shirt I'm wearing. I paid $70 for this shirt.
That's a nice deal for a Supreme shirt.
No, this is it's retail.
Oh,
but,
okay, it's not real.
Yeah, no, it is real, but it's retail. Like I bought it from the store.
I know. I'm saying that usually they're higher than that, isn't it?
No, that's the average price.
Heather says some of us manage to use forks with bowls without violently scraping them against the sides. If you can do that, more power to you, Heather. I don't know how that's possible.
Well, yeah. So I give this movie a B+. Just a very fun afternoon movie. Definitely need the sun and wherever
you watched it in the morning, though.
Yeah, there was sun in my room, Jack. There was sun in my room. And yeah, preferably have a pet with you or a partner or what have you.
Waifu pillow.
Or a waifu pillow, yeah. So anyway, so that is it for Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Let's get into the Wheel of Destiny.
1 wheel, 8 slots, 3 hosts. This is the Wheel of Destiny. All right, Wheel of Destiny. We already have Mr. and Mrs. Smith pre-erased off of the wheel. Tyler, what are you going to replace it with?
The Iron Claw.
Okay.
Why? What?
Now I have to wait for it to land on the fucking wheel to watch it. It just hit streaming. I was going to watch it like tomorrow.
Damn.
Wow, that's a shame.
Dickhead.
You can still watch it.
No, because then I'm going to have to watch it again. I don't want to watch the movie twice.
Why? Why does it
Because
matter?
it's sad as fuck.
Yeah, it is.
Asshole.
Yeah, it is. Well, how did I know? I am supposed to predict when you are.
It just hit streaming today.
I know. That's why I mentioned it because.
Yeah, it's kind of convenient, if anything.
Asshole.
Right?
If it lands on it.
If it lands. Right. True.
We'll make sure it does.
Okay, here's the wheel. We have the wheel right here. Okay, let's start with Tyler. The Iron Claw from Tyler. American History X from Tyler. Oppenheimer from Joseph. Notting Hill from Joseph. A Very Long Engagement from Binge Lord Dan. Fern Gully from Mackenzie. Mute from Pete. And The Brave Little Toaster from Pete. So we're going to give a rolling spin here. It's right into frame here. This is going to be the movie that we watch next week. It's Oppenheimer.
God damn it.
Oppie.
Damn it.
And Joseph's not here to talk about it, so I will just speak for him. Yeah. He wanted to force Joseph or Tyler to watch this movie because he never would.
Yeah.
And Joseph considers this a fantastic movie.
Yeah, he loves this movie.
Yeah. Well, he loves his boy Nolan.
Yeah. God damn it. Well, I mean, I knew it was going to happen eventually. I didn't know it was going to happen this soon.
It's a long one, Tyler.
Yeah, that's what she said. But where is this streaming? Where can we watch this? Let's see here.
HBO Max, I believe.
I think so too. Just want to double check.
Binge.
It's on Hinge.
In Australia.
It's called Hinge.
Binge.
Oh, Binge.
Binge.
I was going to say Hinge is a dating website. It's on Peacock right now.
God damn it.
Peacock.
I'm just gonna rent it.
Just buy it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna buy the movie.
You already bought Iron Claw.
So? Because I wanted to see my boy Jeremy Allen.
Oppenheimer has nothing on the Iron Claw.
Oh, really? You like Iron Claw better?
Oh, fuck yeah. A lot better.
Since you're not going to be on next week with us. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Totally sorry. I have to, before I forget, Joseph sent me his review of Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Okay.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
So I'm going to read it real quick.
Oh, hello. Come along, won't you? As
Joseph.
His own letterboxd reviews. This is me, myself, and
Joseph.
Awesome.
Okay, so Mr. and Mrs. Smith. At around the halfway point of this movie, I was expecting to give this around 3.5 stars out of 5 because I was having a surprisingly fun time watching it.
Oh, no.
There were some genuinely funny moments in this, mostly coming from the performances and comedic deliveries of the two leads. There were also definitely some cheesy 2005 moments, which were just comedic because of how dated it was. Like Jane's hidden gun safe in the oven. Sexist much? Or those obnoxiously large binoculars. I especially like the part where her assistant tells her that the grenade launchers are in and Jane's response is, "We need 10 more." Great line. Once we get past the midpoint of the movie and the comedic tension is relieved that they're not going to kill each other, I became less interested as the quote bad guys are just a bunch of randos from each other's organizations. And the movie,
that's fair.
Yeah, it is. And the movie just kind of ends in a gunfight with no real resolution, and that was disappointing. It would have been nice to get like Vince Vaughn somewhere in there.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Made the stakes higher.
I thought Vince Vaughn was going to be the bad guy. I thought he was going to have to kill Vince Vaughn.
Well, he is the bad guy because he's the one who conspired against the competing...
Yeah, he is, but it's not there at the end like he should be.
So he continues, overall, it was fun, funny, and had 2 strong leads, and it was a cheesy good time with a lame third act. B- 3 stars.
Nice.
Thanks, Joseph. I almost forgot that. Jeez. Okay. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay, so special thanks, shout out to Jack Fitzpatrick. Thank you for joining us for the show, buddy. It's been great.
Yeah, check out his YouTube channel. It's
Thank you.
Yeah, you're a great guest. Do you want to take a second to shout out your channel?
Sure, yeah. It's called Let's Crash This Parade, and I talk about movies. Who would have thought?
In TV shows.
What are your summer high?
Oh yeah, I guess sometimes.
Yeah, what are some of your higher volume videos? Higher view
my bread and butter, as they say, I suppose. Sometimes I make death ranking videos, and I made one about all the saw traps a couple of years ago now. Matt has 20,000 views or something.
Hell yeah, dude. Every trap ranked.
All of them.
It was like an hour and 20 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, it's a pretty long one.
Yeah, I've watched it twice, I think.
I don't know. There's 70 traps or something like that.
That's crazy.
And my Dexter video essay. If you're a fan of Dexter,
yes, I
check it out because
I did watch
that keeps growing. That keeps getting more and more views. I'm very happy with it. Yeah. It's about to hit like 27,000 views or something.
Wow.
But yeah.
No,
these are not my regular amount of views, I will point out. I'm very ecstatic about these ones. Most get like maybe 100 views.
Yeah, that Dexter video, I was enthralled because you did it after New Blood came out, right?
It was just before New Blood.
Oh, just
it was
before.
Like in the lead up to New Blood.
Right. I remember it was like right in that time frame.
And you are a big fan of Dexter in general, so you're passionate about it. The energy came through in the video, and for my money, you should do more of those video essays because your writing is good.
Yeah,
the cadence is good. And if it's something you're passionate about, it comes through in the video. So I
really should. I should talk about Saw and Dexter specifically more often as well.
Right.
But I often just review new stuff.
Yeah.
Which is, more topical. So it's hard to choose which one you want to do sometimes. But yeah.
It's weird because you're told, quote unquote, that you need to stay topical. But then if you make something that just people gravitate to because it's high quality and you care about it, it just continues to grow views over time instead of the 2 weeks after you've released it and then you never see anything growing again.
Exactly. The aim is to be evergreen, but sometimes it can be hard to predict what's going to be that, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, also if there's not a lot of competition, there's not a lot of Dexter videos out there. So when the fans see any Dexter videos, they typically will gravitate towards it. So
you think we should start doing commentaries of, like the movies about the MCU? Are there any videos about that online?
I know. I don't want to talk about that stuff just because of how oversaturated it is and all that stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, listeners, if you've never checked out Let's Crash This Parade, that's Jack's YouTube channel, go check it out. They'll be in the show notes, but it's all one word. Let's Crash This Parade. It's youtube.com/Let's Crash This Parade.
In your words, what do you expect from my channel? How would you describe it? I'm just curious.
So it's basically it's movie reviews, but it's also you have, I guess I just call them video essays. I think of those more like opinion pieces more than anything.
Yeah.
But what you get out of Jack really is that you have a very infectious energy and like a positivity and a self-deprecating sort of humor that comes off really well. So you'll be saying something much like a stand-up comedian. You'll be talking to the audience and then you break away and you're like talking to yourself about the thing you just said. And it's just like, it's very natural because I know I do that to myself and I had no friends that do that, as well. And so you don't feel like a phony. And you and I, we've become friends over the years, and you know how much I fucking hate phonies.
That is so true. You definitely do. Actually, that is a very nice thing to say. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it, buddy. So seriously, go subscribe to his channel. And again, really appreciate you for guest hosting at the last minute.
Yeah, man, it was fun.
Okay, so thank you to our cool ass yard duties over on Patreon. One of them is in the chat right now. That's Heather Sachs, Javier, Ryan, Corbin, and Chris. And if you want to support us on the Patreon, just hit us up, patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass. But you can support us for absolutely free by watching us on the YouTube Live, the YouTube posted videos, recommending our show, or giving us a 5-star rating to friends. All those things help, and you don't have to pay a cent for that.
Right.
So until next time. Thank you for joining us as we have a special edition from Down Under with Jack, and we review Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Follow us next week as we review Oppenheimer, Joseph's pick, and he will be back to host that episode. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, follow us at Twitter at podcastmcfc. Follow us on TikTok at Middle Class Film Class, as well as Instagram, same name. And leave us a voicemail, why don't you? We like to hear from the classmates at 209-730-6010.
All right, see you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Class dismissed.
I gotta get out of here. The bell doesn't dismiss you. I dismiss you.
You're free to go.
See you next week.
See you later.
See you later.
That's a wrap.
Great show.